Hello and welcome to the CyberUK TV here at CyberUK 2025 in Manchester. I'm joined today by James Noyce, technical specialist from Microsoft. And today we're going to be talking about privileged access workstations. Good morning, James.
Good morning, Darragh. Very glad to be here.
So, James, how have you found CyberUK so far?
It's been really good as ever. I first came to CyberUK, the first one in Liverpool in 2017. It was great to see Richard on stage for his first keynote or plenary session for CyberUK as the CEO of the NCSC. And it was also really interesting to see his thoughts on the current landscape and where we need to do investment, and also great to see Pat McFadden give his talk as well. That was really informative and very eye-opening, shall we say.
Good. Well, I was pleased to hear them both talking about resilience and the importance of that. It's here in the UK. Now, but we're here today to talk about, as we said, privileged access workstations, and otherwise known as POR. So let's stick with POR
yes,
as
it's easier.
our abbreviation. So can you tell us about, what is POR? How did it begin?
POR's internally within Microsoft, we have a system called the Secure Admin Workstation, SOAR. They're used by all our engineers, our administrators of our systems globally. It's a mandatory thing, there's no sort of exceptions granted, so to do anything privileged on Microsoft systems, you have to use a SOAR. So using that, we evolved for our public customers, we were able to develop a system called the POR. I suppose back in 2010, 2011, first started to protect our on-premises systems, because the cloud was just starting then, but all our focus was still on on-premises, good old Active Directory and things like that. And it's evolved over those years, 15 years later. It's now anchored in the cloud, it's protected by the cloud, and it provides a closed loop, I suppose, administrative system to securely allow organisations to protect the administrative functional interfaces of their environment.
So looking at this device here in front of me.
This is a POR. It's a standard laptop. It's just configured in a way that basically only allows it to connect to the administrative interfaces.
Okay. And so, in terms of that connection, can you expand a bit more upon that?
It's not allowed to browse the broad internet. We've got policies that configure that it can only go to our management interfaces and the interfaces that manage the device. It is configured so it has strong MFA, it's protected and things like that.
And can it be virtual as well? Can PORs be virtual? Or?
That's a tricky one, Darragh. It's you can't inject trust into an administrative session.
Right.
You have to start off with a physical device, connect to the admin interface. If you then want to connect to ongoing or different systems to administer, those can obviously be virtual. But you can't sort of use your standard desktop or laptop device or mobile phone to connect to a virtual or sort of a POR that isn't sort of running, or you need a clean keyboard. I think that's probably the easiest way to say it.
Right.
Where the keyboard that you use to do the initial connection has to be considered clean, healthy, assured, however you want to put it.
So James, am I right in thinking that POR is only for legacy on-premises systems? Is that right?
It started off to protect our legacy and on-premises estates that we've had with lots of organisations globally. That changed around 2018 and was really brought to the fore in 2020 as a result of the SolarWinds breach. That demonstrated that it was very simple to move from the on-premises environment to the cloud environment. So we released some guidance on how to architect cloud solutions, and we developed a cloud-centric privileged access workstation pattern that meant that we could protect cloud services. It was easier and sort of cheaper to do it in that way. You didn't have to maintain or keep them fed and watered like you did with traditional IT. And it just means that we can now isolate our cloud services from on-premises and you have no external dependencies. So you treat them separately, and that's a good case maybe for when virtual connections are okay. So you start with a cloud anchored and managed sort of physical device,
Yes.
and then you might connect to the on-premises environment through a virtual jump host or bastion service.
So POR can be virtual, is that right?
It can if it comes from a clean keyboard to begin with.
Right. Okay, I understand. Well, look, James, that's been very helpful. Thank you very much for that information. And if other people want to find out more about POR, where do they go?
They can just search on the Microsoft website, and we'll put some links to the relevant sort of articles and learn pages as part of the chat.
And as for the rest of CyberUK here in Manchester, what are you looking forward to?
Well, it's great to be back in Manchester. CyberUK has been here before. It's always good to catch up with former colleagues and just basically see what our competitors are doing and working with, because it has to become or is definitely becoming, from Microsoft's side of things, a team sport. We are fierce competitors with many of the other people here, but we also work very closely with them. So it's always interesting to understand where the next opportunities are for those sort of partnerships to evolve.
On that note of collaboration, James, thank you very much and enjoy the rest of CyberUK.
Thank you very much, Darragh.
Thank you.